Hey, what is going on, Mash and Drummers? What's going on? Welcome to the Mash and Drum Whiskey Room. I'm Jason C. Is Whiskey Wednesday night, another amazing Whiskey Wednesday night. Hope all of you are doing well. We have a hell of a show on tap tonight. A couple of hitter bottles that I cannot wait to try, and a couple that I didn't think I'd be able to get this quickly. It escalated quickly with the help of some amazing patrons. So yeah, we have a couple of really cool whiskeys tonight to break down. Also, we'll do maybe a couple of some live head-to-heads, proposed by you guys. And yeah, we'll just talk a lot of news. We'll talk whiskey, we'll talk bourbon, do some Q&A, whatever you guys want to do tonight. It's gonna be a great show. Just been let's see, do I spy Buna Fagile? Yeah, that's almost $200 here. Yeah, Kenneth, that is a Bunnahabhain Fagile. This is my first Bunnahabhain Fagile. And I'm definitely, we'll taste through this in a little bit. I definitely have some opinions on that one. I always have opinions, so whatever. Jason Busey says, how you doing? How you doing, Jason Busey? Nice to see you, buddy. The Buse is loose. That King Weeded is great stuff. Yeah, so that's what I have poured today. And yeah, I was really excited to crack this one open. So this one, let me see. I want to make sure that man, was that the right? I think that was the right bottle. Yeah, I think that was the right bottle that I had gotten. Let me make sure here. Yep, that one's that one. Okay, yeah. So I got this bottle at Pours in the Park from a great dude that I got to meet in person, and he kind of just gave me this bottle. Was like, hey, why don't you give it a try? It's King's Family Distillery out of Tennessee. So this one is sourced. This is NGP sourced, and according to the website, it's 51% corn, 45% wheat, and 4% malted barley, and it's aged at least 4 years. So so some really good stats there. Aged at least 4 years, so maybe a little bit young, but I don't know. Sometimes magical things happen to whiskeys in Tennessee. I'm just saying. Not really sure what. But let's see here. I see Jack Daniels in the house. Yeah, we got a little Jack here hanging out here. The twice-barreled special release rye, which actually has some pretty good age on it. And I'll show you close-ups of the neck tags and everything that I took before we dive into this bottle a little bit later. But yeah. Man, the nose on that is fantastic. Let me know what you guys are sipping in the chat, and I'm going to say hi to some of you here tonight, of course. William Wiley, he's the man, the myth, the legend that helped me grab this Jack Daniels, so thank you so much. Really appreciate the help, the assist. William Kavanaugh is in the house. What is going on, buddy? Chisel drinking some Hardin's Creek Frankfurt. Frankfurt. So that is, Frankfurt is that's not the newer one. Oh, yeah, it is the newer one. How is that one, Nathan? Kenneth Rathburn says, I'll do a dirty deed for that sample. Ham Turkey's in the house. What is going on? Wesley Hughes in the house. What is doing, man? Whiskey and Smoke is here. Casey D. Justin Jenkins, who provided the assist on the Legent. So thank you so much. Emily is in the house. What is going on, Emily? Butter it up. There you go. Crispy Bacon in the house. Brian M. Shauna Marie D. What's going on, Shauna? EJ in the house. What's going on? I've been trying to buy less whiskey, but these M&J picks are impossible to pass, says Truman. Yeah, we got some good ones. We secured Mash and Journey Whiskey Club, and we have two private select rums coming out really soon from Rolling Fork, which are, one of them was aged in a Logic Craig barrel proof cask, the other one was aged in a Woodford double oak cask, and they're both ridiculously good. They're cask strength. They're about 9 years old. Can't wait to bring those to the group. Yeah, we just did a few more Wild Turkey picks. We did, what else have we got coming out? We have a Corbin Cash Rye that is absolutely out of this world. We have our Hard Truth Rye single barrel pick coming out. So much stuff. We just secured a 13th Colony pick for next year. It could be one, could be 2 barrels. They were finished with the allocations for this year, but we definitely got on the list for next year. So a lot of just amazing stuff coming from for the group. So yeah, we're still working on other stuff. I'm in the process of trying to get some Jack Daniels single barrels. Speaking of Jack Daniels, so we'll see what happens. Honest Charlie's in the house. What's going on, man? J370, Warren Smith. These JDs are coming out so fast, I can't keep up. Yeah, Warren. Yeah, I feel that, man. They are bringing out a lot of stuff fast. It seems you can't keep up. But it's not just Brown Foreman. I'm sorry, it's not just Jack Daniels, but all of Brown Foreman stuff just keeps coming out. Sandeep Chima in the house. How you doing, Sandeep? Chris Buzalencia, cheers from Biloxi. Bo's Wine Guy in the house. Whiskey Juice, the juice is loose. Tim Cornet, what are the chances we'll ever see that new Jack? I don't know, man. Depends where you live or how much they mark it up. Eric Sawyer says, Happy Whiskey Wednesday. Had my first pumpkin spice flavored thing of the year today. Pumpkin spice Oreos in search of pumpkin spice whiskey. Eric Sawyer, as the defending champion of Blendageddon, you're fired. That's terrible. Oh, dude, it's too early for pumpkin spice. Is this happening? Pumpkin spice already? When do the pumpkin spice lattes start coming out? When do all the the guys start wearing boots, jeans, and sweaters, and when do all the girls start wearing little hats and their knee-high UGG boots and their long coats and walking around with pumpkin spice lattes? It's coming soon. You know it is. Jeff Perkins in the house. What's going on, man? Tim Evans. What's going on, my buddy? JG is in the house. Giselle's Boston. I'm just going to run down the list here. Norman Latva, William Reynolds, William Davilar. What's going on, buddy? Hope you and Michelle doing well. Let's see here. Who else we got? Saucy Shane in the house. Rocket Bottle 321. Tim Gorgeous is in the house. He's saying Happy Whiskey Wednesday. And we're getting into it. Yeah. Yo. What's up, Jason? Can't wait for Blendageddon. Yeah, we're going to announce a little Blendageddon action tonight for sure. Raging Irishman is here. Sean Kane. He says he had a pumpkin spice latte the other day. What? Guys. Starbucks pumpkin. Actually, you know what? I did see pumpkin spice beans from Starbucks at Sam's Club the last time I was there. So I did see some of that. Jason, stop making fun of my wardrobe. Hey, Jason, what direction should Maker's Mark take? That's a good question, Bill. We could definitely get into that for sure. I thought pumpkin spice was outlawed until September. If you look at the Babs around me, it's apparently when school starts back. Yeah, I mean, it's happening. Jerry D is here. What's up, Jason? On a work trip here in Kansas, and we'll be doing my first distillery tour at the Holiday Distillery. Super pumped. Dude, I actually have a video tomorrow all about Holiday, Ben Holiday. So yeah, enjoy it, man. They are making some incredible. If you can get a chance to taste their wheat, was it the red wheat cast strength? It is unbelievably good. It is good. I think it's the next like big brand in whiskey that people are going to start gravitating to. Anyone seen that pumpkin spice Weller? That was a little bit of a joke for a little while. Anybody remember seeing those labels? Bourbon School in the house. Hardin's Creek. Frankfurt is legit. Sweet, less oaky, bigger finish versus Claremont. Really? All right, NJ. Hook a brother up. I got to get me that one. All having pours with Tony Two Toes for his birthday. Oh, cheers. Happy birthday to Tony Two Toes. Cheers, man. That's awesome. Cajun C. Jason, some Jack Bonded Rye came to my local shop. Hear anything about it? Might take a blind chance at it. $32. Jack Bonded Rye. I would probably take a chance on that for $32. I mean, I am a fan of the Jack Daniels Rye whiskey. It's a sweeter profile if you like that. Joey B. What's up, Jason C. in the Mass and Drum family? All right. Please no pumpkin spices, Whiskey Mountains. So today I released a video of my top 10 bourbons that I still hunt and always buy no matter what. And the video is doing ridiculously well. Probably my best performing video in a long time. And it was a couple of interesting, feedback, some comments that I got on the video. One is people were extremely surprised at my love for Eagle Rare. I mean, have I ever said a bad thing about Eagle Rare? No. I mean, Blanton's, yeah. Maybe some of the Wellers, yeah. But Eagle Rare, I've always loved that. I always loved that bourbon. And I think it surprised people that I said I would pay $100 for one. But you got to remember, I never see it here in Ohio. It does release here in Ohio, but it's like 1 or 2 bottles at a time. And if you're not first or second online Saturday mornings, you know, they're gone. They're usually the first ones to go, even above Blanton's at some places. So I never really get a chance to see it ever. Now, my store back in New York, they usually have it for a decent price. But again, Eagle Rare is like one of those bottles for me personally that I just don't see very often. And as a 10-year bourbon, I love it. Now, I have the Russell's 10-year, which is a great alternative, but every now and then I just want some of that Eagle Rare cherry grapey goodness. And, you know, my personal situation, it's like if I don't see it that often and I have a chance to buy one and I know that certain states are flooded with it, certain states have none of it, it's kind of a difference maker for me. So that was one observation. Maybe not $100. Maybe I exaggerate a little bit too much. I don't know if I'd pay 100, but I would pay at least $70 for maybe $70 to $80 for Eagle Rare. And then on top of that, I thought, so I asked in the video for people to drop in like their favorite top 10 lists, what they like to hunt and what they're always going to buy no matter what. And I was very surprised that the bottle Baker's by Jim Beam was shown a lot of love in the list. And just get your reaction, guys, in the chat. What do you think about that? Are you guys huge fans of Baker's? I know it's not so much Knob Creek. It's not really Booker's. It's somewhere in between. But I was very surprised to see so much love for Baker's. And it kind of made me happy because I always thought like Baker's was kind of underrated. But for the age and the price and, you know, the bottle, I really do feel like it's a really nice whiskey. Jason, are we making a trade at Summer Jam? I have 4 Eagle Rares. Eagle Rare is rare in Iowa. Let's see here. It's just a hate you give about low proof Buffalo Trace with no finish. Yeah, but see, I think Eagle Rare actually has a little bit of a finish. Eagle Rare to me is because of that 10-year-old age statement. I feel like it's got enough going on to keep my attention. I've never said anything bad about Eagle Rare. I think Eagle Rare is one of the best things that Buffalo Trace makes. Also, one of the best values. I'd easily take Eagle Rare over, I don't know. Like I like it. Obviously, I like it over Blanton's. I like it all over all the benchmarks. I like it over most of the Wellers. You know, maybe aside from Weller Antique, I think is a really good bourbon. I can't say I've had enough Rock Hill Farms to make a good, I don't know, a good recommendation. I've literally only had like 2 single barrels. That's one of the Eagle Rares that I'm sorry, it's just one of the Buffalo Trace bottles I haven't really had a lot of. They're all single barrels. I've only literally had 2. I own one, but it's like years old. I just don't go back to it very often. You know, Hancock's, you know, nobody cares about that bottle. I even like Eagle Rare most of the time over E.H. Taylor. Now, you talk about E.H. Taylor single barrel and barrel proof, that's a different story. But as far as like an everyday sipper from Buffalo Trace, I think Eagle Rare is really hard to beat. Baker's is one of my favorites. Baker's over Booker's. I love Baker's. Baker's is underrated. Yeah, it's underrated a bit. But according to the comments I got, it's not that underrated. People really love it. Let me back up. I feel like I'm out of focus here. Probably all these bottles. Let me back that up. All right, that's a little better. We have Baker's everywhere. I like Baker's, but I have a Knob Creek pick. Baker's 7 is solid. Baker's is underrated, but I never feel like it's essential among my bottles. Yeah, Jeff, when I was surprised. That was like my reaction. I was like, wait, what? All these people really loving Baker's. And it was kind of refreshing to see. Eagle Rare at Walmart here. Man, it must be cheap at Walmart. Big fan of let's see. Big fan of Baker's, especially if you can get it close for 8 years, 10 months. Rockwell Farms is great. Good ones. New ways nowadays. I'm not sure what you're saying there, bud. Eagle Rare much better than E.H. Taylor. Russell's 10 over Eagle Rare. Yeah, some days I fall into this category where I like Russell's 10 over Eagle Rare. Like generally I do, but there's something about Eagle Rare that I love. And just because, oh, that's a good question. What's up, Brandon Lincoln? Nice to see you, buddy. Oh, there he is. Do you think Eagle Rare is better than Elmer? That's a really good question. You know, maybe we'll do a head-to-head tonight. Eagle Rare versus Elmer. We'll see which one I like. You know, kind of earmark that idea and give it to me later once we're going through all these bottles. Cajun says, I had a lot from your list, but ones that now permanently staying in my shelf in Redwood Empire, Rocket, Top Rye. Sorry, cheating with no bourbon. Oh, yeah, that's fine. I'm probably going to do the same list with Ryes. EJ says Eagle Rare is better than Elmer. Anyways. Okay, that's a great head-to-head. I'm split as well, man. Yeah, we'll see what comes out on top. We'll definitely do that. We could do Elmer, Buffalo Trace, and Eagle Rare. Maybe we'll do a three-way tonight. We'll do a triple base, a live triple base tonight. A little bit of some fun Buffalo Trace stuff. But before we get to that, let us go through a couple of whiskey news stories, including, well, first, I haven't even drank anything because I can't shut up. So cheers, guys. Let's try this King's Wheated Bourbon here. I mean, it might just be my first pour of the day, but that has some nice spice for wheater. Ooh, good spice. Travis Robeson says, Jason, didn't know if you caught the message that specific. Oh, yeah, Travis. Yeah, Travis Robeson, the man, the myth, the legend. He's the one that grabbed me this bottle. This is a King's Family Distillery single barrel wheated NGP. Oh, it's 118 proof. Oh, this is a single barrel. Got it. Sorry, man. Thanks for alerting me to that. No wonder why it's tasting a little bit hotter. Damn, it's good. I mean, so this is actually 7 years old. This is a 7-year wheater from NGP. All the details are here, guys, that I missed because I'm just too busy talking. Gary Heisler Stag for $100. Yeah, I'd buy it for $100 all day long. So I'll say this about it. For a 7-year-old whiskey, it's got a good amount of oak influence. It's very sweet. It's got a lot of weediness to it. I always kind of use that word. Are you planning another Barrel King pick? Yeah, for sure. We could kind of do those whenever we want. Got to do a barrel pick with Jay Henry for work 2 weeks. Joe was such a cool dude, and their stuff is pretty freaking good. Amazing experience, as Lucas Oppenheimer. I love Jay Henry. I would love to do more with Jay Henry. Whiskey in the Six, cheers from the island. Go get a slice of Pizza Barn for me. Whiskey in the Six is here? Look at that. Rob's in the house. What's going on, Rob? Nice to see you, man. Let's see here. Aiden, really? You're passing on Stag for $100? Stag? That's surprising. I love Stag. So the more I'm getting into this, I always look for like that really nice fruit forwardness that good wheaters give you, and this definitely has it. But I like the oak and the spice it has. This is more of a spicy wheater. This is nice. I would be interested to try some of their own distillate. This is good, but more NGP. But I would really like to, based on this and what they're doing with it, I would like to actually try more of it. Some of their own distillate, which I can't remember if you gave it to me or yet, Travis. You might have in the sample pack, but I haven't gotten that far yet. Jason should open a pizza bourbon bar, Bob Glass. That's actually a really good idea. Pizza and bourbon. Man, that's good stuff. King's Family has some great pours. Aiden, stirring that pot again. Yeah, I agree with Aiden. Rare Breed and ECBP are available for less. Totally agree. But I think the those I'm buying regardless. But so the reason those could have easily been on the list, but I'm buying those regardless. And I normally buy those if I'm running low or if I need a backup or anything like that. But there are certain bottles that I'm not gonna like if I have enough Rare Breed and Russell, I have enough Rare Breed and I have a lot of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof or whatever. Rare Breed is a good example. I have a lot of Rare Breed, so if I'm running low, I know I could just go and buy another Rare Breed. Now Stag, on the other hand, if I see Stag in the store, you know, that's one of those bottles where you don't know if you're going to ever see it again. So that would be a bottle I would buy right away without tasting it or, you know, knowing or, you know, reviewing it. So that was kind of the differentiation in the list. I don't know if that was clear or not, but yeah. All right, that one's really good. So let's start off with a bourbon that's right here. Let me get some water. A little water here. Actually, I want to ask anybody here in the chat if you guys feel like if anyone wants to track some super chats for me. Because the winner tonight will win this big, large sample of Jack Daniels Twice Barreled Rye. So I got this nice big sample for you if you want to grab that. So any super chat amount, get you in the running for it. So if anyone can track, let me know. John Farron, when are you going to do a bracket style of all the Russell's picks you have? This is John Farron. I'm actually working on a video series about all the different warehouses for Russell's picks. So it's not gonna be so much a bracket style, but I probably will do that at some point soon. But you know, they're all so different, so I will be doing a video on all the different warehouses, which will be cool. That's basically my media sample. So if you guys want it, there you go. I literally got this today and I had no idea it was coming. And then this bottle came today, so I was like, shoot, let someone else enjoy it. I have a bottle, so if you guys want to get in on one, go for it. Let's see here. Oh, Katie Turk is here. Oh, the Turks are here. Awesome. Jason Busey. Holy shit, dude. I'll donate these entries to Nick Proman if he doesn't share it with Whiskey Mountains. Okay, I like that. And looks like Whiskey Mountains is going to track. Thank you so much. I love Audriana, always helping out. Bob Glass says, send me that bottle. All right, so let's get into the first news story here, and that is, well, first I do want to mention this news story right here. We were just talking about Baker's, and this is the relaunch of Baker's 13 year, or the relaunch of Baker's single barrel 13 year. Now, if you guys pay close attention to either secondary markets or resale markets, these were all over the place last week. I mean, people weren't even at their damn cars yet, and they were putting these on secondary. So just last Wednesday, James Beam announced the return of limited edition Baker's 13-year-old single barrel bourbon, first released in 2019. This 13-year-old offers a significant age upgrade over the standard Baker's bourbon, a 7-year-old product. It's bottled at 107 proof, like normal Baker's. Limited quantities are available in select U.S. states for $130. So, again, these are single barrels, but I'm all about, Baker's at a higher age. I mean, why not? So good. Let's see. Just secured the new Baker's 13. Can't wait to crack it Saturday. Damn, Circle City Bourbon, you got one? Nice, dude. Deborah C says, rye not. I see what you did there. Very nice. All the good news today, says Lionel G. Oh, Big Vic is in the house. Oh, that's not going to be rigged. Yeah, you're not getting it. Robot Scott is here. What's going on, man? All right, let's get into this bottle, because this is one so again, Justin Jenkins was kind enough to send me this bottle that you're looking at right here. Now, we talked about this bottle a while back. I don't know if you guys remember hearing about it, but Beam Suntory debuted this Legion Yamazaki cask finish. So 2019, Fredno and Suntory chief blender, I'm not even going to try to attempt to say his name, collaborated to create one of a kind Legion bourbon, which was aged in wine and sherry casks. Now they're releasing a limited edition version of Legion, set to break new ground in the bourbon category. Here we go again, breaking new ground in the category. In addition to bourbon matured in French oak wine casks and Spanish oak sherry casks, the latest release includes bourbon aged in sherry casks previously used to mature Yamazaki Japanese single malt. So let's see. It starts as a Kentucky straight bourbon crafted from American grain. After 8 years of aging in the state, it was transported to the outskirts of Kyoto in Japan for finishing and blending at the Yamazaki distillery. So let's see. This is bottled at 57% ABV. The whiskey is available for a limited time online and in select locations in U.S., Canada, Germany, and global travel retail for $200. So I think if you were a member of the Jim Beam mail order program, I think you got this bottle. Am I correct in that assumption, Justin? I can't remember. Samoan Barkeep says, love the channel. Cheers, man. For the win, don't sleep on Bakers, says Norman Latva. Love the higher end JD stuff. Let's see. Eric says, count me in. I'm in since I just missed out of a bottle of this today. Oh, that sucks, dude. And Dan just missed on it. Anthony Peters, what is an up-and-coming distillery you like but haven't heard people talk about? I just visited Spirits of French Lick. Had a great experience. I think Spirits of French Lick, I've been talking about that for a couple of years. I think they are making delicious whiskey. Alan Bishop is an absolute mastermind at distillation over there. I think I would put Ben Holiday up there, 13th Colony, Cedar Ridge. I mean, you put me on the spot. I'm sure there's a few here. Devil's River. I'm trying to think of people that are distilling their own stuff. I still think Starlight's on the up and up. I think their stuff is just getting older. I just hope they start allowing their stuff to get older and not just releasing young, youthful casks that are finished. I would like to taste Starlight at an older age eventually. But those are kind of the ones off the top of my head that I would go with for sure. I'm sure there's a couple of others I'm missing here. JT Mellick making that Louisiana rice whiskey. Absolutely love it. For sure. So, yeah, it was a good amount. Justin Jenkins says, yes, it came in the barreled and box. So, yes, that was it. The barrel and, oh, yeah, Journeyman is another great one. Driftless Glen. There's a bunch. There's a lot. So, Justin was kind enough to send me this. This is the Legion Yamazaki. And this is what we were just talking about. So, when you open the box, what's in the box? There it is. Beautiful presentation here. Jason, you think the higher in the warehouse, the better those Russell single barrels get? I heard the same about the Old Forester single barrels. Yeah, Joey P. Basically, the rule of thumb is if you like higher proof, then you're going to want something higher in the rickhouse. And usually it gets hotter, the higher in the rickhouse you get. And the hotter it gets, the more concentrated your whiskey gets, rather than something aging on the lower floors. So I think that's why people like the higher ricks so much normally. I think it's just a little bit more of a concentrated type of flavor. Sorry, Justin. Oh, there it goes. That came off easy. It's a pretty bottle. So here's a close-up of the bottle, guys. Take a look at that. Ooh, that's nice. And then it's got the map here, the map of Kentucky, and then going all the way to Kyoto. So kind of cool. The cork is actually pretty beautiful too. I thought it was metal. It's actually kind of light. Let me show you guys this. This is the top of the cork. I love how like this gold strip is kind of inlaid into the cork. It is beautiful. It looks heavier than it is. It's not that heavy. So let's try this one. Now the regular Legion, I was, kind of hot and cold about. I don't think I've ever even had that whiskey since I reviewed it way back when. But yeah, we'll try this one here. If you had to pick one, would you take KC12 or Baker's? Oh, Eric, man, killing me. I don't know. Probably for the money, I'd probably go Knob Creek 12 year. I mean, it's only 7 proof points less. It's a higher age. It's actually somewhat on par in price. I'd probably lean toward, unless the Baker single barrel is really good and I tried it before I could buy it, I'm probably going Knob Creek 12 all day long. William Davalar, split my entries between Jason Busey and Moho 88 Basin Bourbon. Cheers. William Davalar, bringing it. Thank you guys so much. That is going to be for those two. Whiskey Mounds, I hope they're not driving you too crazy here. It literally looks like a Baker's bottle. Yeah, I mean, it's basically the same thing as a Baker's bottle. It's the same shape. They just threw a fancier cork on there and called it a day. Henry Turner says, just tried a new JD single barrel by the spec. I'm a fan. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of mixed reviews about those. Hey, Jason, I need help. I'm going camping and I'm bringing cigars and whiskey. How do you think Sagamore Sherry and 2XO Innkeepers would pair with a strong dark cigar? I think both of those are absolutely fantastic options, man. I think, Devin, you're doing it right. I like it. Both of those should hold up pretty well against a big, bold cigar because they're not overly high proof. They have just enough flavor, I think. to balance out the cigar and vice versa. All right, let's get to the nose on this one. So, ooh, so on the nose, I'm getting a little bit of spice, and I'm getting a little bit of the maltiness from the Yamazaki, I think. Joe Wanninger says, here in Indy, you trip over KC12 in every store. Hell, they have them at CVS. Are you serious, Joe? That's nuts. Yeah, as we're going to let this open up, we'll get into... Now, we talked about this last week, guys. We have 415 in the chat. Everybody's thanks for hanging out right now. Please hit the like button as you're hanging out. Officially announced. We talked a little bit about this last week, but it was officially announced just this past week. Maker's Mark Cellar Aged is happening. It's not a prank. I promise you. It's been officially announced that Maker's Mark is going to be coming out with a cellar-aged whiskey. Well, cellar-aged is the name of it, but this is a day in whiskey fans have been waiting for a long time, a double-digit age statement from Maker's Mark. Now, for those of you who haven't heard what is in this bottle yet, it's going to be a blend of 11 and 12-year-old bourbon. 87% of it is 12-year, and 13% of it is 11-year. So this is the first time I've heard the proportions. So more older whiskey than 11-year, but still both really good ages. It's the distillery's oldest whiskey to date. It's going to be bottled at cask strength of 115.7 proof. So let's see. This release arose from Maker's Mark's desire to answer the question, what if age isn't just about time, but instead about how you use that time to evolve, develop, and mature, the brand said in a news release. Maker's Mark says it's always aged its whiskeys to taste, not time, for the sake of producing bourbon that is soft, smooth, and not overly oaky, as too much aging can make whiskeys bitterly tannic and astringent. So this was kind of the pushback. Over 65 years, Rob Samuels didn't want to do it. He said in a news release, it's not that we didn't believe in it. We simply hadn't found a way to do it that didn't compromise our taste vision. My God, they say that so many times until now. Cellar Aged embodies an older whiskey that's distinctively Maker's Mark, one rooted in challenging convention, delivering new flavor experiences from the environment that surrounds us and building a taste vision that's been generations in the making. This is going to be a retail price of $150, and it's going to launch next month in September in the US, October in London, Munich, and select global travel retail outlets, and in early 2024 in Tokyo and Singapore. So we have finally all the details for the Maker's Mark Cellar Aged Bourbon, guys. 115.7 proof, a mostly 12-year, a little bit of 11-year in there, price of $150. All right, you guys tell me in the chat. You guys in? Or you're out? What are you thinking about that one? Very excited for this. I think it will been great. Wow, 150. I don't know. What are your thoughts on Barrel Foundation 5-year? Alfredo Jimenez. I just caught that today. I haven't read enough about it. So not really sure, man. Danny Lopez says all in. I'm in. Take my money in. I'm in on that one. Man, all these people are in. It's going to be tough to get. And I think some people might be scared away from that $150 price point. However, I do think that people will be so curious to try Maker's Mark at that age. I think it's going to fly off the shelves. Pretty crazy. All right, let's try this Legion here. It's pretty good on the nose. Wow, that is super fruit. That is strawberries and cream all day long. It's a strawberry Pop-Tart in a glass with some spice. Wow. Did not expect that. That is so fruit forward. Second sip, I get a little bit more of the sherry maturation. It gets a little bit more raisiny. Maybe a hint of chocolate. Not very dark, though. But I do think that the star of the show here is the very front of the palate. You get like strawberries and cream vibes on this, which is kind of delicious. I think the French oak delivers some nice spice on the back end. This is way more interesting than the conventional Legent. But obviously, I think that's, they made it this way. Question is, could Trev pick it out in the blind? Says Johnny 5. I would hope so. This is nice. This is a very, very well-balanced whiskey. For what they're going for with the 3 different maturations. I like this a lot. It's really fruit forward. It's really rich. It's got a lot of spice to it. I mean, the price of this, what I say it was, $200. Yeah, $200. I don't know if this is $200 good, but I would say this: if you're a big fan of Japanese whiskeys and very fruit forward whiskeys, this could be up your alley. Whether or not you want to pay $200 for that's up to you, obviously. But I mean, this does pack some flavor. I will say that. This is probably one of the better finished whiskeys I've ever had from Jim Beam. Think about it. Like, Jim Beam doesn't do a lot of finished whiskeys. They do a lot with age, a lot of age statements. They like to bring out, big, bold age whiskeys. Let me catch up to some super chats here. Watch it be on par with William LaRue Weller. I don't know. Just because I think that the way it's being described from Bill Samuels, I think that, or Robert Samuels, I should say, I think what they did is they probably moved those barrels in a way, aged it in a way where the oak and the astringency and some of that age is probably not as prevalent as you would think for a bourbon that's 11 and 12 years old. I think that they aged it in a way where they use the environment to their advantage, like they said, to keep it within the parameters of their taste vision, because they are so hypersensitive about that. Their taste vision is what drives everything they do. They do not like oak. They do not like astringency. And I think that they probably found a way to age that in a method that probably you're not going to get it too much on that. So if you're expecting something oaky from Maker's Mark, I don't think it's going to be oaky. If anything, I think it'll be more developed in flavor, but I don't think it's going to be oaky at all, to be honest. That's just my prediction, just knowing how Makers likes to bring their stuff out. 420 in the chat. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I live in Georgia and have been enjoying 13th Colony for a couple of years now. 13th Colony is the bee's knees. Love what they're doing. Brian Toner in the house, $9.99 super chat. Thank you so much. EJ, as a former resident of Lahaina, I'm asking anyone that can to please donate to Maui Relief, picking the organization that you believe in. Yeah, that's true. I did see your note, EJ. So there are a couple of, so if you guys haven't heard about the wildfires in Hawaii, people are dying, and there's 3 or 4 different organizations that you could donate to help in relief in Maui. So if you could, just a reminder, if you can give anything, please do and help the residents of Maui. It's just not a good situation there right now. EJ used to live in Maui, so that's why he's pretty passionate about it. So thanks for bringing that up, man. Appreciate it. Mash and Drum, I'm going to have to put that Maker Cellar age against Russell's 13. Oh, man. Kino C says, Summer Jam. Can't wait to see all you guys. Can't wait to see you guys either. Their taste vision needs to get more oak, so this has me slightly worried. Wait, so you're telling me that Jim Beam doesn't finish in peanut butter barrels? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I get it. Yeah, so sad for Maui, just there in March. Yeah, and it's crazy. Yeah, so this 13th Colony is my first 13th Colony store pick, and it's a barrel proof rye. I think it's like 100 and something. It's 141 proof. Oh my God, I didn't know it was that high. Holy shit. Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that Maker's Mark. And I that alludes me to the question earlier about, where does Maker's Mark go next? And I think really Maker's Mark, where it's going to go is, the private selects are getting tired. The wood finishing series has been cut off. I think they needed to do this. I think it's been a It's been a public request for so long. I know Fred Minnick has been banging that drum for years. You know, I want a high age maker's mark to hit the market. He's finally getting his wish, and we'll see how it tastes. But even after that, I'm not really sure where it goes. Yep. Is that label specific about which Yamazaki barrels? I feel the NAS and 12-year use different ones. I don't think it says, man. Let me see here. From the no. Partially finished in wine, sherry, and X Yamazaki. No, it just says X Yamazaki. Don't know which one it is though. Yeah. So back to Jim Beam. Yeah, not a lot of finishes when you think about it. I know they had the masterpiece, which was a good sherry finish, but you just think like out of all the distilleries, man, and how many finishes are happening. Now, Jim Beam doesn't do that many. Four Roses hasn't done any. No finishes at all, if you think about it. Actually, even looking at Buffalo Trace, they don't really have any finishes either. I mean, they do, some with the, with the E.H. Taylor, the special releases, but it's more focused on like different grains, not so much, usually different grains and locations, not so much finishes. So it's kind of interesting. Justin, man, this is good. You're going to enjoy this once I send this back to you, man. This is that is one of the more unique whiskeys I've had this year. It starts off as all beam, but with like glazed with strawberry, like a strawberry donut. And then it gets into like this spicy, malty. Then you get the Yamazaki cask, I think, in it. You get a little bit of that Japanese influence. It gets a little bit floral. Good spice balance. This thing is all over the place. Dude. That's good. That was surprising. I did not think it was gonna be that good, man. I'm actually enjoying this a lot. That's one of those bottles where it just kind of sneaks up on you, I guess. Joe Lanninger says, what did he say there? Had a pour of the Master's Keep Voyage tonight at a bar. Glad I had it at a bar. Yeah, that I have. Yeah, like a strawberry glazed donut, like strawberry glaze. They got those at Krispy Kreme, man. Strawberry glaze. When you make Fireball, do you really even need to finish anything else? Charter Oak does the wood stuff, though. Oh yeah, Charter Oak. That's right. Charter Oak does do. That's their finishing series for sure. Let's see here. With all the Russell single barrel picks you have in stock, can you say you have a favorite? So I got that question on the video, and the only answer I could come up with was that Warehouse K from Wild Turkey, Russell's Reserve store picks, have generally been my favorite more often than not. There was a long time where Camp Nelson F for Funky, was a big favorite of mine, but those kind of stopped going into circulation. But every single K warehouse barrel I've had from Russell Reserve has been outstanding. Actually, one of the barrels we just picked a couple of weeks ago, the ultimate, like the immediate, oh my God, we have to have that barrel, was a K. And we didn't know that until after the fact. So if there's one warehouse that I love more than other, it seems to be K. There you go. I mean, you could argue Isaac Bowman is finished Buffalo Trace. Yeah, I mean, you could argue. Whiskey Mount says, now Creek doesn't need finishing. I see you. All right, Justin. This is really good. Yeah, it's got like this doughy, and I think that's the maltiness that comes off a little bit bready. That's why I'm saying like strawberry donut. It's very sweet up front. Like these dried fruit notes are coming through. That's good. All right, I'm going to tuck this back in the box for you, Justin. But thank you so much for sharing that, man. That is, I'm really enjoying that one. I might have to try to find a bottle of that for myself, because I'm really digging that one. All right. All right, we're getting close to the Jack here, guys. So kind of has a New Riff malted rye sherry finish taste. Yeah, something like that. I think you could go with that, but it doesn't have like that rye herbal quality to it. It's more of a cereal quality to it. And it's a little bit sweeter, I think, than the malted rye from New Riff. And the sherry, the malted sherry rye from New Riff is way more sherry dense than this is. This is definitely a more delicate sherry influence than that one was. Which bottle is the strawberry donut? It is the Legent. This is the Legent Yamazaki finish, cask finish blend from Jim Beam. It's a special release. I don't know how available it's going to be, but it's pretty damn good. All right. Is New Riff going to make some sherry malted rye? Well, the sherry malted rye I have over there, they've already released one. It was my rye of the year last year. It's ridiculously good. Do you have the opportunity to try the Sagamore sherry cask finish? Yeah, that was a top rye for me last year too. Those two ryes, I did a comparison. I did a double base episode of that sherry rye versus the Sagamore sherry. New Riff won it out for me because of the dense sherry it had. But that Sagamore sherry rye is an absolute hitter as well. All right, let's go to the next news story here real quick. So some more news coming out of. Let me get rid of the comments here. Hard Truth is partnering up with none other than John Cougar Mellencamp or John Mellencamp. I'm not exactly sure what they call him anymore. He seems to have a different name every day of the week. I think it's just John Mellencamp. So we wanted to stick with our Hoosier roots. John Mellencamp's son partners with Indiana distillery Hard Truth on Rye Whiskey Series. So just this Tuesday, it announced the release of a Sweet Mash Rye Whiskey Series made in collaboration with Mellencamp Whiskey Company. Mellencamp Whiskey Company was co-founded by Hud Mellencamp, the son of Grammy-winning musical artist John Mellencamp. The partnership will comprise 4 limited collector edition Sweet Mash Rye whiskeys, which will launch during the spring and fall seasons. The first release will be released September 9th at the Hard Truth Distillery in Nashville, Indiana. It will go on sale at the distillery and then launch to select retailers for about $70. Let's see. Each release in the series will be selected and blended by Smith with assistance from Hud Mellencamp and Mellencamp Whiskey Company. I had no clue that there was a Mellencamp Whiskey Company at all. That's like, anybody else know that? Anybody? I have no idea. I'm just saying. They should. ADHD Whiskey says Camp Melons or Camp Peach. What's up, Maddie? Nice to see you, man. The artist formerly known as John Cougar Mellencamp. Yeah, that's good. I'm really enjoying that one. All right, what I'm going to do here real quick, guys, is I'm going to pour this Jack Daniels twice barreled special release because it is a double casking. I always like to give it a little bit of air, give it a nice healthy pour there. That's nice and dark. And I'm going to let that sit out a little bit, get some air time. All right. Let's see here. Mellencamp Chili Dog Finished Whiskey. That sounds gross. All right. We talked about the cellar age. What else do we have to go over here real quick? Oh, a bottle that I saw pop up and another one I saw on secondary and another one I actually saw Fred Minnick review was the where is it? This one, the Elijah Craig limited edition bourbon for the Ryder Cup. Now, if you guys haven't seen this yet, here is the bottle. I don't know. I mean, this is one of those bottles that it's like all of a sudden you're just like checking out what's going on with whiskey, and then all of a sudden I saw this thing everywhere. So this is in celebration of the PGA Tour 2023 Ryder Cup, according to a news release from Heaven Hill. It's a toasted barrel Ryder Cup limited edition bourbon. It's the first release after the brand announced a multi-year partnership with the golf competition in April. The bourbon, which hosts a suggested retail price of $100, is Elijah Craig small batch bourbon finished in new European oak barrels. The barrels have been toasted in a way that pays homage to the Lazio wine growing region in Italy, according to the brand. So let's see here. The unique marriage of toasted European oak and our extra aged Kentucky bourbon offers a taste experience fit for one of the world's greatest sporting events. The choice of using barrels with Lazio-inspired toast profile lends the spirit an elevated, bright fruit character. The spirit is described as possessing a nose with caramel, creme brulee. The palate offers plenty of fruity qualities from the distinctive choice of barrels. Okay, so let me see here. Is there even like a price of this thing? I'm sorry. I think I read it's $100. $100. Bottles of Expression will be available in August on an allocated basis. So another allocated whiskey for a Ryder Cup event. I mean, Ryder Cup is fun. I love watching the Ryder Cup. I love the competition. It's freaking awesome. And let's see. One other quick note, I do want to say that Nelson's Greenbrier, so formerly Belmead, you know, the brand that brought us the wonderful Belmead expressions, has unveiled some major distillery updates. And here are a couple of photos from them. There is one of the ones, Nelson Greenbrier Handmade Sour Mash. Basically, they have done a transformative distillery renovation. The ambitious project, which began in early 2022, reimagines the distillery experience, enhancing the space to boast an immersive tour, gourmet restaurant, full-service bar, and exclusive event venue. Now visitors have the opportunity to delve into the rich history of the Nelson's heritage through an engaging guided tour, culminating in a tasting of some of their beloved offerings. Located in the Marathon Village neighborhood just 10 minutes from downtown, the distillery is a perfect destination for Nashville visitors looking for a taste of Tennessee's history. You get a 45-minute tour. We'll take visitors to the past, present, and future of the distillery, followed by lunch and a drink at the bar. To commemorate the special occasion, the distillery released the Nelson's Greenbrier Cask Strength Tennessee Whiskey, a limited one-time release of the original recipe, bottled at 121.4 proof. It's now available at the distillery exclusively for $50 while supplies last. So that's one of the shots. Here's another shot of the really nice inside. That looks beautiful, I gotta say. And then here's one of the other shots of the shop. I don't know if there's anybody in Tennessee has gone to check this out yet, but it looks really nice. So if you guys haven't been to Nelson's Greenbrier yet, probably a pretty cool opportunity to do so sooner than later. So I just reached for a glass and there was nothing in front of me. Okay, what do we got next here? What do I want to try next here? You know, I do want to try this Old Dominick Bottled and Bond Tennessee whiskey. Speaking of Tennessee, this was also given to me by Travis, and can't thank him enough. So, Old Dominick is out of Old Dominick's distillery in Tennessee. They've been making some really great whiskeys for a long time now. For the most part, I think a lot of their stuff is grain to glass. 100 proof, aged in West Tennessee, white oak barrels, mash bill, 75 corn, 13 rye, 12% malted barley, distilled, aged, and bottled by Old Dominick Distillery in Memphis, Tennessee. Gotta love it. All right. Man, I'm just all about Tennessee tonight for some reason. Paul P. with a super chat says, question, what is your most memorable whiskey shared, and what was the most memorable by taste alone? Wow. Well, the most memorable by taste alone will probably never change, and that was the first time I ever had cask strength bourbon, and that was the first time I ever had a bottle of Booker's, which kind of set me off on this path of, you know, Bourbon Channel and getting into whiskey. As soon as I tasted that bottle of Booker's my first cask strength bourbon, that was the start of me going down a very, very deep rabbit hole, obviously. As far as most memorable that I've been, you know, just kind of, man, I have to think about that one. Man, you know what? I would probably, you know what? I don't want to really get misty-eyed about this because I'm going to start talking about my grandmother. And every time I talk about my grandmother, I get a little bit emotional about it because I miss her so much. But probably when I hit, there was a certain milestone my channel hit, and I don't remember if it was 1,000 or 10,000 subscribers. It was a milestone, and I remember cracking open a bottle of what was it? It was a bottle I don't think I have. Oh, it was a Wild Turkey. It was a Wild Turkey Dusty bottle, and it was kind of like one of the first Wild Turkey Dusties I'd ever acquired. I believe it was an old Austin Nichols, like Wild Turkey 101, and I'd been saving to like open that bottle. And my grandmother was here for like a couple of, she was here for Thanksgiving. She came here for Christmas, I believe, one year, or I was there for. I don't remember exactly. I probably like blurted out of my mind, but I think I tried that whiskey, kind of cracking it open with the family, and she was there, and I think that was probably my most memorable, to be honest. Yeah, I don't want to get too emotional about it, but yes, that's probably my most memorable. So yeah. Adam Hinson says, missed hanging in Ohio. Going to miss you in Baltimore. Safe travels to everyone. Thanks so much, Adam. Hope you're doing well, man. Bourbon Bill 13th Colony needs to do more cast strength stuff. Well, I mean, it's coming. It's coming for sure. Big Vic says, I showered today, so I'm feeling lucky. Jason, are you going to Bourbon in the Banks this year? I'm trying to. I'm trying to make it there. Let's see here. At least you didn't say Tabasco Dickel. Yeah, that's that's true. That kind of was a memorable thing. The first time I ever had that. The first time I ever had Jeff the Creed, Tabasco Dickel. So yeah, the Old Dominic's bottled and bond here. Again, what I like about this, it's all distilled aged right there in Kentucky. I'm sorry, in Memphis. Got me thinking of my grandma now. It's throwing me off. So that is actually really good. It needs a little bit more age, I think. I think you're getting that grainy, youthful characteristic up front. But the weird thing about this whiskey is, like, normally you get that on the back end of a younger whiskey. I'm getting that up front. And the back end is actually kind of rich creme brulee, caramel, vanilla, all those really good flavors you expect from a good bourbon. It's kind of on the finish instead of the front. The front is actually where I'm getting a little bit of the youthful characteristic in it. I had recently tell me they visited Jeff the Creed and it was terrible. I mean, I'm not going to talk about Jeff the Creed anymore. I mean, it's such a nice family, but the bourbon they're making is just awful. Yeah, the more you sip this, I think the more balanced it gets. It still holds a little bit of a youthful characteristic to it, but it's not like bitter or overly, doesn't really like punch you in the face too much. It's not that bad. Paul in Ann, Connecticut says, my son just moved from Memphis, Tennessee to Florida, and I'm going to visit him on Florida, and he has a bottle of Old Dominic for us to crack. I can't freaking wait, says Paul and Ann. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple different variations of it, but this bottle and bond is actually kind of nice. All right. Before we get into the announcement for Blendageddon, let's get into a couple of different labels that I saw here. Buzzard's Roost looks like they're coming out with an American whiskey. So Buzzard's Roost generally sources from MGP, so it looks like that could be either. Now, when I hear American whiskey, it's either used barrels or it could be light whiskey. Generally, I think light whiskey from Buzzard's Roost, so we'll see. Old Elk is coming out with another cigar cut. Now, if you watched my video of the cigar cut, I was not a big fan of the first one. This one, however, has a little bit of a twist to it. So here's the cigar cut label. Straight whiskeys finished in port, sauternes, sherry, and rum. So we have a four-way finish here, and it's actually been dubbed the Island Blend, it looks like, from the label. 55.85% alcohol, 111.7 proof. Port, sauterne, sherry, and rum. So you have the port and the sherry, which could be pretty powerful finishes. You have the Sauternes, which is a little bit more delicate, and you have the rum that could be strong or delicate depending on what rum and how much you how long you finish it for. But honestly, the other cigar cut from Old Elk for me wasn't about the finishes. It was about like the grainy, bourbon I was getting on the palate. The finishes weren't overpowering it, or normally you'll take a young whiskey and you try to hide it, but it was just a weird experience. I'm hoping that one is better. Greg Metz is a legend, and I hope that one turns out better. This one I could not be more excited for. I know I'm a little bit over toasted stuff, but anything from ASW, the Fiddler Toasted Straight Rye, I will take a toasted rye whiskey over a toasted bourbon any day of the week. I am super excited for this one. Hopefully I get to try one of those. Cask strength double barrel, 6 years from ASW. Yes, please. I know William Wiley's all over that, William, right? We have a Boone County honey-soaked cask. What does that mean? Let's look on the back label. We gave our aged bourbon barrels to a local apiarist. I don't even have to apiarist. Let's just say beekeeper, as it says there on the label. He then filled our bourbon barrels with his honey. The same honey-soaked bourbon barrels made a return and trip back to our distillery and were refilled with our Founders Reserve bourbon. Enjoy this honey-soaked cask finish Kentucky bourbon. Cheers. Made by Ghosts. That is probably one of the most brilliant marketing things I've seen in whiskey in a while. Honey soaked. It's not just a honey finish. It's not a honey cask finish. When you say honey soaked, people are going to be lining up for that shit. Oh, it's honey soaked. It must be sweet. Tastes like honey. Oh my God. I love it. And speaking of brilliant labels, there's been a lot of shitty marketing in whiskey for a little while now. This one, however, I dig this one. Look at this one. Allocated. This shit is just named Allocated. 10-year single barrel straight bourbon whiskey. Raw cask unfiltered cask strength bourbon. Bottled by Artifact Spirits, LLC, Winter Park, Florida, distilled in Indiana. So more NGP. This is 10-year NGP? Really? Is it NGP though? Oh, I'd be curious. But it just says allocated. Can you imagine like walking into a store and like, hey, you have any allocated bourbon? And the freaking guy just like, here, allocated. Geez. Come on, that's funny shit. Allocated. Just, this is what we're going to call it. It's kind of brilliant when you think about it. You have any allocated whiskey? Yeah, here you go. It's named Allocated. Why don't you take that? Get the hell out of here. Yeah, that label brought to you by Captain Obvious. Yeah, does it say allocated? Look like just random dots. No, it literally, I'll show it to you again, Top Shelf. If you read the dots, it spells out allocated. 10-year single barrel straight bourbon whiskey. Raw cask, unfiltered cask strength. Raw cask is a new marketing term I have not seen yet. Raw cask. Yeah, look at that thing. That's, I don't know. It piques my interest, though. When you show me a 10-year bourbon from Indiana, piques my interest. I don't know about you guys, but anything 10-year, anything above 8-year from Indiana. I mean, anything these days above 5 years from Indiana that you can find on the shelf will pique my interest, to be honest here. All right. This is good stuff. It's getting better. That youthful note is pretty much gone. This is actually a really nice bottle. I'll show you guys. I don't think I did a close-up for you. There he goes. Old Dominic Bottled and Bond Tennessee whiskey. Look at this baby. That's a really pretty bottle. This definitely stands out. Kind of tall. Very nice. All right. So, man, I think it's that time. It's that time we talk about Blendageddon 2023, guys. So this is what I'm gonna play the trailer here real quick, and then we'll kind of get the whole Jack Daniels thing set up. So I'm gonna have to share my screen because the file was too big to put into StreamYard. So I'm going to let's see if I can. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Let's see what you guys are seeing there. There's the blend trailer. All right, I'm going to mute my mic, and hopefully you guys can hear this. So let me know if you could hear the audio in the chat. Blendageddon 2024. We'll go over the rules after this, but here we go. All right, so you don't hear any audio in that? Son of a bitch. Hold on one second, guys. Let me see if I can do this here. Share screen. I made the damn file too big. Let me see here. Can I share audio? You know what? It's going to have to play through my own mic. So if it sounds shitty, guys, I'm sorry. But all right, here we go. Hopefully you can hear this. I'm going to restart this for you. Here we go. Oh, they're both so good. Nancy, help me.
Jason, help me. That's
Oh my God.
Yeah. B&A are really good. This is good. But B&A are really, to me, really balanced and really take you on a journey.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter jelly time?
It's peanut butter jelly time. This has been the theme stock from my bourbon journey started. I had no idea. I've known the guy for a long time. No idea he had such strong emotional connection.
All right, guys, this is pissing me off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to re-export it a little bit of a lower clip so I can upload it for you because, yeah, that's not going to be the way you guys are going to want to hear it. So let me do this. It might not be as good quality, but at least you'll be able to kind of see it here. So let me do this. All right, give me 1 second here. Like watching Skinemax from the 80s. Oh shit, that's fucking funny shit. Okay, let me, hopefully this will, I'll be able to upload this. Let me, it's working. Sorry, this is awkward, but you know, sometimes this happens because I was hoping that would work a lot better, but unfortunately it did not. Let me try this. Okay, again, it's still too big. Let me try, that's what she said. Let me try this. Oh, let me do this. B. Man, this sucks when this shit doesn't work. Come on. Does that work? Okay, maybe that did work. Let's do that. Oh, yeah, it's uploading. Okay. I'm going to let that upload. And in the meantime, I'm going to nose the Jack Daniels here a little bit. Now, let me get into the, put my knife away here. Let me get into the Jack Daniels news release here, just so you guys, if you haven't heard exactly what this is, let me get this teed up for you guys here. So, that is, oh yeah, that's where we're at. Let me get back. Get back one more time. And here we go. So this is the close-up photo of the Jack Daniels Twice Barrel Special Release. And we have it right here. So if you guys have not seen this bottle yet, here it is. And basically what we have whoa. My God, okay, I'm just catching up to the chat, guys. Sorry. Yeah, the chat's like flying by here. Okay, so here's what we got. This is the, so just this Tuesday, Jack Daniels launched a limited expression of Twice Barreled Rye, the latest addition to the Single Barrel Special Release collection. The brand announced it in a news release that the 100 proof spirit would be available across the U.S. in limited quantities for a suggested retail price of $75. The Heritage Barrel Rye whiskey from the Brown Foreman is distilled with a mash bill of 70% rye, 18% corn, 12% malted barley. The spirit undergoes Jack Daniel's signature charcoal mellowing process prior to being aged in a new American white oak barrel for a minimum of 5 years, and then finished for 2 years in the Jack Daniels High Toast barrel. So it's lightly charred, heavily toasted heritage barrel, showcases the expertise of our cooperage and elevate innovation through the barrel making process. So, yeah, there it is. And here is the bottle for it. You guys get a look at that live in the flesh. Again, I want to thank William Wiley for grabbing this one for me. Now, I don't know if you guys remember the Heritage release, Just Tennessee Whiskey they did years ago. I think it was the first edition of these special releases they were doing. And I thought it was one of the best expressions I ever had from Jack Daniels. So I was really, really excited to try this one. Yeah, I am kind of upset it's only 100 proof, but you never know. All right, I think it has uploaded. All right, guys, here we go. Blendageddon trailer. If the quality sucks, I'm sorry, but you'll get the gist. Here we go. Oh, they're both so good. Nancy, help me.
Jason, help me. That's
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But I really like it.
B&A are really good. This is good, but B&A are really, to me, really balanced and really take you on a journey.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter jelly time.
It's peanut butter jelly time. This has been the theme. Scott from my bourbon journey started it. I had no idea. I've known the guy for a long time. No idea he had such strong emotional connections to peanut butter and jelly.
I'm still tasting it. You can take one sip and sit there for 10 minutes and just enjoy this.
I think it's the most complex.
I agree. It
Right
might
off
be
the
the most
shot.
complex.
So even on first drink.
I feel like there's something in there that I've had before. Like in terms of rye profile, there's something that seems really familiar to it. I'm not sure, but oh man, it's just solid.
Completely agree with you. Yeah, the strawberry shortcake note definitely brings it out. It's like its own. It's on its own level. I mean, the first one was good. It was a nice little kind of get everything kind of started, but this one is just flat out amazing.
That is rich. Like this almost feels like one that needs like just a little more like blending time, you know?
This is like breakfast, and the other one is dessert.
That's right.
Even after spinning them around and blinding myself a second time, I thought D was the winner. So I think the D is better. I already said which one my favorite is.
Yeah,
but
so
I just think
so is D the winner, Jason, or do we need more?
No, I think for me, I think it looks like it's unanimous. I think D is the winner, which means Eric Sawyer, with his No Butterflies Were Harmed in the Making of This Blend, is the Blendageddon champion for 2022. Congratulations, Eric.
Jason, The winner is all Blue Run. I swear you will never live it down.
Slippin' Jimmy's coming in. Here he is. What? Are you serious?
Hell yeah!
You're not Jimmy McGill.
You want to bet on that? Boom, bitches! Woo! Hell yeah!
Woo! Who is ready for Blendageddon 2023? Blendageddon 6. 6 years of this shit. I am so pumped up. I hope that trailer got you guys a little bit pumped up for Blendageddon 2023. Yeah, it was. I'm sending in this hard and screen clear my friend with Blended Stasies as NJ. Yeah, so I had put together a couple of different rules for this year because basically what I wanted to do was give a chance to everybody that submits a blend to be able to try and replicate it at the end, because I think that was kind of the biggest complaint that I got last year. Well, that, hey, it's great that people use these blends, but everyone's using single barrels to blend their whiskeys. And while that's good, I have eliminated that this year. So for anyone that's going to want to submit a blend for Blendageddon, you cannot use any store picks or group picks in your blends. All right, none. So if you have a store down the street that did an amazing store pick of Russells or an amazing Four Roses, you think it'd be good in a blend, you cannot use it. All right. The only thing you're allowed to use is bourbons that are available on the shelf. Now, look, I understand that there are different selections state to state, but even if you have one whiskey in your state that someone else doesn't, it's still a good chance that somebody could maybe acquire that bourbon. Now, if you're talking about like Russell Reserve single barrel or Four Roses single barrel that are on the shelf, just the regular variants, you could use those, but you cannot use any personally selected single barrels or store picks in your blends. A lot of people were using the Master and Journey store picks, for good reason, because they're, delicious. And I get that part, but you cannot use them in your blends at all. So that's really the only big change. Now, the Frankenblend category is going to stay the same. You could pretty much use whatever you want except for flavored liqueurs. But if you want to use single barrels in your Frankenblend, have at it. Like single barrel store picks. The Frankenblend category is completely open. You could use rum, you can use, Armagnac, you can use, bourbon, rye, American whiskey, Canadian whiskey. You use whatever you want in the Frankenblend. The American whiskey category, you can use whatever you want as long as it's made in the United States and as long as it's not a single barrel store selection. I know some people may say, well, can't you use, can I use like a, you could, if you want, you could still use like George C. Stagg or William Llewellyn. If you want to put a high-end whiskey in it, that's up to you. But just know that if you keep going on to the next rounds, you're going to have to keep providing more of that blend, which means you have to use more of that heavily allocated whiskey. The crux of this all is for everybody to be able to kind of work with the same palette of blends or the same palette of whiskeys and bourbons and try to create something that can be replicated. So If you guys look in the description of this video, there's a link to all the rules and regulations that you need to know for Blendageddon. You can click on that link, download the sheet, download the rule sheet, and see where the contact is to email me. And if you want to send in your entries, then go for it. So good luck to all of you. I cannot wait to get this started. We're going to have a whole new panel of judges this year. It's going to be epic. Bigger prizes, and again, culminating at the end with an amazing St. Jude's fundraiser at the end of the year to raise money for kids that need it and their families. So there you go. Blendageddon 2023. Holy shit. All right, it's on. There you go, guys. Richie Z says he's going to enter. Oh, damn. So Dusties and Allocated are okay to use. Todd Ritter, if you want to use a Dusty. Man, Dusties, that's a good question. You know what? I'm going to say no Dusties. Because, again, that's going to be something that's going to keep somebody from being able to replicate your blend. So no Dusties. Now, when I say Dusties, I mean you can't use anything like from the 60s, 70s, or 80s or anything like that. It's got to be current bottles. You got to make your blend with current stuff. Okay? So don't be going and throwing some weird... I know, Todd, you like to use Dusties in it. That's kind of your thing. But I'm gonna say no to Dusties this year. You got to use everything that's current. Because, again, we want to make sure that people can replicate the winning blend when it's all said and done. So there you go. John W., yes. Non-store pick single barrels you can use. So Russell's Reserve single barrel, the Shelfer. Four Roses single barrel, the Shelfer. You want to use those? Fine. You just cannot use any store picks or group picks. Not that I do this, but what about distillery exclusive stuff? Oh, my God. I mean, if you have to, fine, but I would lean towards no, to be honest. Because, again, you're just think about this. When you're making your blend, you want to make sure that people can replicate it. So just go with that law, and that's it, and go with it. There are so much whiskey that you can use these days to make something incredible. I feel like you don't need to make any. You don't need to utilize anything that's, store specific or super rare. So there you go. Can you finish your blend or part of it? Yeah, if you want to stealth finish it, go ahead. You can do that. There's no law against that. If you're that confident to do that, you can do it. We need a year like later than 2014. Okay, yeah. So anything later than 2014 you can use, I guess. Yeah. But you guys know the deal. When I say no Dusties, don't be using anything from like 1970, 1980, or, 1990, all that stuff. Bozewan, Jason going to get 100 emails. Can I use this? Come on, guys, just go with the rule. If you're setting up to make your blend, just think in your head, if I'm making this blend right now, can someone else replicate this? That's what we want. That's what these entries this year are all about. So whether it's 2 bourbons, 3 bourbons, it's got to be at least 2. If you use a shit ton of bourbons to make your blend, then go for it. So, all right. Now, our ECBP pirate bottles considered Dusties. I mean, they're not that old. You could probably use that if you want. My wife is a Dusty, says EJ. That's messed up, man. No original OGD 114, basically. Yeah, use new OGD 114. All right, let's get into this Jack Daniels, guys. Here we go. Jack Daniels special release. How many entries are you accepting, says Terrence? As many as I get. Last year, we had 35 in the American whiskey category, and I think we had, I want to say 8 or 12 of the Franken blends. So everybody seems to lean more towards the American whiskey than the Franken blends. But, the Franken blends is kind of the open, like if Todd Ritter, if he wants to use a Dusty in the Franken blend, go for it. If you feel like you want to use something that you feel like is super rare or allocated or whatever, single barrels too, use it in the Franken blend category. You win pretty much the same prizes as you do for the American whiskey blend. The American whiskey blend, there's some bonus stuff on top of that because I think it's a little bit harder to kind of take everything together. American whiskey blend is the one that everybody usually enters. So I can't go buy a pirate bottle, so those should be out. Well, that's true. Yeah, probably not. If you want to use an Elijah Craig barrel proof, a more current one, then go for it. I would probably eliminate the pirate bottles. Some people do consider those dusty. So yeah, no pirate bottle. Let's see. So Big Vic says, not me this year, Frankenblend. 23 is my family number. We all use in sports, so 2023 is mine, says the Norseman's Only Drams. There you go. Okay. Let's go to this. I don't know. Let's go to this this Jack Daniels, man. I've been looking forward to this one. So again, 100 proof. I'll show you the guys the bottle again real quick. There it is. Focus up. And it is all beautiful. Look at that baby. Heritage Barrel Rye. All right, let's go to the nose. I've been nosing this already for a little bit. And if any of you have had this already in the chat, let me know what you're getting on the nose, what you're getting on the palate as well. Always like comparing notes. The first thing I immediately get is like Coca-Cola. Like it smells like Coke. Like flat Coca-Cola syrup. Pirate bottles are trying to bend the rule, yeah. Yeah, actually, let me show you guys here. It's pretty dark. Check out the color of that. That's a nice color to it. This is the Jeffrey Wack Glen. Got a nice dark color to it. Again, if you guys are in the chat and you're watching and you want to win a large sample of some of this, I have a big sample here of the Jack Daniels single barrel proof Heritage Rye. I'm sorry, not barrel proof. Single barrel special release Tennessee Rye whiskey, twice barreled rye. You can win this big sample tonight. All you got to do is throw a super chat in, and you'll get a chance to win that that thing. I'm wondering if Jimmy McGill's going to enter. We'll see. We'll see if ADH is probably already working on his blend, knowing him. Man, Coca-Cola and maple syrup, I think. Ooh, yeah. Look at him bury that nose into the Coke. BC. Love it. Randy from Bourbon Real Talk really loved it. Oh, I haven't seen his review yet. Real quick, guys. Next week, as long as everything stays true, this month's Off the Still episode will be live, and we're going to be live with Dan McKee from Michter's. So the master distiller from Michter's, whatever you want to call it, is going to be live for the Off the Still episode for August. I cannot wait to talk to Dan. He's a really cool guy. But I'm gonna ask him all sorts of questions, all sorts. Like, where is your bourbon really sourced from? No, I'm only kidding. Norseman's Only Jam says 2023 champ. Look, book it, heathens. Oh my God, definitely worth a sample. There you go. Yeah, I'm just gonna ask 2 hours of him asking where Michter's is sourced from. Pretty much. So you definitely get a lot of there's some nice like sweet oak notes in here. That like toasted oak profile. Very sweet. Again, to me, it's like maple syrup and kind of like a flat Coca-Cola. A little bit of like a pecan note in there too, like a molasses. Yeah, I think it's like turning more molasses than anything now. Man, that is super rich and sweet and just dense. Ernest Stevens says that's going to be an interesting interview. Yeah. I think so. I definitely have a laundry list of questions. So, Jason W. All right. Shit, you made that happen. We need to know how old this 10-year bourbon is. Durrell, that's going to be one of my first questions, bro. How old is the 2023 Michter's 10-year really? That's going to be one of my my first questions. All right, guys. Let's try this Jack Daniels. Here we go. Man, that is rich. It is. Gonna need another sip of that. So I'm curious now. Liquid Coke. So Rue, if you've ever had like Coca-Cola and you have like a flat Coca-Cola, like all the carbonation is kind of run out of it, and all you taste is kind of like the Coca-Cola syrup. That's what I'm getting in this. That's what I mean by like Coca-Cola. I get it in some bourbon sometimes. This one I really get it, but it's turning more molasses. But man, on the palate here, it is really dense and rich and syrupy and everything you would. I feel like Jack Daniels kind of has like an MO with these special releases. All of them have been like this deep, rich, dark type of flavor profile. This is just molasses. Again, like that Coke syrup. It's toasted oak. It's sweet. So just add club soda to it and you'll get Coke. I mean, maybe. I mean, maybe. I mean, it's super rich. There's a little bit of a like a breadiness to it as well, almost like a toasted rye bread, maybe some man, like the rye spice comes through, but it hits late for me. All up front, I get a lot of sweet. The molasses and the flat Coca-Cola and the rye spice all hit the front of the palate. And for 100 proof, it's actually pretty viscous. Hank Williams Jr. says Jack versus BTAC. So a lot of people were asking me, like, is there an age statement on here? So here is the close-up of the neck tag. So this is my neck tag on my bottle. So you could see first barrel entry was 2015. Then it entered the barrel in 2020. So there you go, 15. So yeah, 5 years right there, a little over 5 years before it went into that second barrel. And then in the press release, it says that it was in the barrel for another 2 years. So then it was bottled in 2023. So if we look at that info again here, guys, so 15, 20, and then it was, so according to this, July 13th of 2023 is when this was bottled. So now I know some people may read that and be like, oh, so it was actually in the cask for 3 years, but sometimes when things are aged, they'll dump them and they'll put them into a tank before it's bottled. So that 2 years, I mean, if it says finished for 2 years in Jack Daniels High Toast. So if they're saying 2 years, then I would imagine that after 2 years in that finishing cask, it was probably tanked, sitting there for a little bit before it was bottled. I don't think we're looking at a 3-year toast. So just to clarify. Holy crap. This is, again, it's pretty delicious. So what I'm going to do here, guys, is I have the Jack Daniels single barrel rye. This was the one that everyone went crazy for. This is the first release. Still got a little bit of this. I'm going to do a compare. This was my plan all night, is to compare these two. So we have the toasted twice barreled versus the single barrel special release here. Oh, wow, this is different. They are very different. Because I feel like this is the first thing people are going to want to ask. What is the difference between the two? So far, you thought this was dark and dense. This thing takes it to a whole nother level, this Jack Daniels. Let me move this out of the way. And that, there we go. So the Jack Daniels is like dark honey, very sweet, rich caramel, rich vanilla. The Jack Daniels twice barreled, again, molasses. I get like this toasted sesame seed. Oh, man, this thing is so dark. Oh, Sagamore 8 too. That's a good call. I was going to do that. Let me grab that too. All right. Thanks for reminding me, man. I was totally going to do that. Sagamore 8-year rye. So far, this has been my rye of the year, but I don't know. I may have some competition right now. Let me pour a little of the Sagamore 8-year in there. Let's see what we got. Oh, I love doing this. I especially love doing these live with you guys. So thanks so much for hanging out, everybody. Appreciate it. We still have, over 400 people watching. Again, guys, please hit the like button while you're hanging out. I really appreciate it. That's the Sagamore. This is the regular Jack Daniels. This is the first single barrel special release. And then this is the twice barreled. Oh, man. They're all so different. All right, so let me see if I could break this down for you guys. All right. Sagamore Spirit 8-year. Definitely more rye driven. More spice. Yay, Sagamore. Is that twice barreled the 375? No, it's a 700. It's a 700 milliliter. Sagamore 8-year root beer. You get a little bit more of the root beer rye characteristic in here. Chocolatey, a little sweet, spicy. The Jack Daniels. Oh, man. You get the rye spice in here, but it's a lot sweeter. I mean, you guys know the deal. Jack Daniels makes really, really sweet ryes. Then throw in the 13th Colony rye. We'll do that at the end. That's 141 proof, man. Trying to kill me. Yeah, this is really rich and dense as well, but it's different. The Sagamore 8 brings that root beer. It brings that milkshake to the yard a little bit. Brings that root beer. Brings the some of that MGP spice to the game. While this one gives you that Tennessee, that really nice sweetness, a little bit of like a creme brulee, like mixed with mint, a little bit of a richer like brown sugar. Then you get to this thing, and this is just molasses, pecan pie. This has gotten sweeter. It's not so much Coca-Cola as it is pecan pie in a glass. Maybe a little maple syrup too. All right, let's try them. I'm going to go with the Sagamore first here. Oh, man. That Sagamore 8-year is so friggin' good. I think this is more of like a universal, like if any of you have had like Thomas H. Handy or some ultra aged ryes that just have a really great balance of sweet and spice, the Sagamore 8-year is where it's at. That's exactly what that is. I think these two are a little bit more outliers. The first Heritage, or not Heritage, but the first Jack Daniels Barrel Proof Rye. Oh, God, I forgot how good this is. Holy shit. Oh, my gosh. God. You get some of the molasses in this too, but it's not as dark. I feel like it's more of like a brown sugar note. And then you transition to this thing. So one thing I'll say about this one is that it's all up front. Everything about this whiskey is front and mid palate. The finish is good, but not great. But again, remember, it's only 100 proof. And I feel like they probably had to proof it down to 100 proof because of the fact that you have so much of that oak influence. I feel like always proofing it down kind of softens that up a little bit. It doesn't give you such a bitter, type of oak note, which is something you get a lot with double oaked or twice barreled, whiskeys. So I feel like proofing it down kind of maybe tame that a little bit, but all the dense, dark notes are all up front mid palate. The finish on it, I would argue that the finish on the Jack Daniels Barrel Proof Rye is definitely a lot better, but you got to remember the proof is much higher on this one. And I even think the Sagamore has a better finish than that. However, the flavors in the twice barrel Jack Daniels are very unique. That deep, rich molasses pecan pie note, that sweetness is just so prevalent. It's kind of hard to get away from that a little bit. Sorry, Adriana. Yeah, I think after you take a few sips of this one, I think the 100 proof starts to really, really, starts to come to the forefront a little bit because you have all those sweet flavors, but it definitely lacks a finish after a little while. But that's for me personally. I think if you're not used to drinking 100 proof, this could have a good finish for you. But it's very deep, dark, dense, and sweet on the twice barreled rye. And I think a lot of people will love this one. If you want a more traditional type of rye, the Sagamore is where it's at. The Sagamore 8 has this amazing mix of like root beer, cream soda, cherry. I mean, honestly, I like the flavors in the Sagamore 8 year a little bit more over the twice barreled rye because it's got more going on. This, how good, even though it's really delicious, it's very 1, 2, 3 note for me. It's got the, like I said, I mean, I don't want to keep repeating myself, but it's, it's molasses, it's pecan pie. It's got a little bit of like a breadiness to it from the rye. It drinks really nice. It's very sweet. But it doesn't like take you in different directions. It's like what you have on your, by the time you get to your third or fourth sip, you're going to kind of know what to expect. The Sagamore 8 year, I feel like evolves a little bit, and the Jack Daniels original barrel proof rye. But I mean, you can get these now on the shelf. They're not as old as this. And I think the single barrels really do. Cheers to thick rye since it's barreled twice. Compare it to Sagamore double oaked. Cheers. Well, that sucks, says Moho. What you drinking? Whiskey? This is still such a freaking hitter. To be honest, for me, I probably still like this a little bit more. This is very good, but I think these two actually take you more into a more super flavorful direction. But I mean, this thing, I mean, if you guys like those dark, super dark, dense flavors, you like super sweet oak, molasses, pecan, this, you even start, like, it's starting to get, as it works its way down the glass now, I'm starting to get the smoke. I'm getting a little bit of a smoke flavor from probably that second charred barrel. Damn, it's good. It's really good. So, final thing for this one, here's what I'll say about this. This Jack Daniels twice barrel rye, it's absolutely delicious. It's really, really delicious. However, now MSRP for this one was what, 70, 80 bucks. I wouldn't probably pay more than 100, maybe 125 for that bottle. I already know that it's going for 300 in some places. Just my opinion, I wouldn't overpay for that bottle too much. I think people will overpay it because they want to kind of keep their vertical going with all the special releases, and I get that part of it. That's like kind of the FOMO kicking in for all, bourbon and whiskey collectors, and I get that part of it. But if you come across this at either retail or even if it's 125, a little bit over retail, I would say pick one up because I think it's going to be a fan favorite. I think people absolutely love this one. If you like those dark, super rich flavors, I got to give this to my mother. So, Mom, if you're watching, you love pecan pie, you're probably going to love this. That's like the best note I can give you. I don't think it really stands up to the original barrel proof rye. That was an absolute beast. I think there's more going on here. And the Sagamore 8 year, I would actually argue there's a little bit more going on as well. The Sagamore 8 year has a proof of 111. So it's, 10.4 proof points above that. And I think that actually kind of shows a little bit. Yeah, it's not worth 400 on secondary at all. Tim Cornet would not even go near that price for this one. Yeah, that Sagamore is going to be tough to beat this year. It's really good, but again, it's very direct. There's not a lot of complexity to it. You kind of get what you get, and that's what you get. Oh, it's good though. Honestly, it doesn't taste like a rye. It just tastes like I'm drinking like it tastes like you're drinking straight like molasses or Jack Daniels rye whiskey extract. Very, very similar to what like Coy Hill brings you, but without all the fire breathing proof to it. It's like that rich and dense. So, so with that, let's try the 13th Colony. All right, 13th Colony. We're going to go right to 141.3 proof here. Let's America. Let's see what we get here. Man, you talk about dark. So this is the first 13th Colony store pick that I've ever had. And on top of that, so this is a cast strength rye whiskey. It's 11 years old. 11 years old. Barrel 13, bottle 27, 141.3 proof. Holy shit. Dude, that's crazy. Okay. Paul Brogan says, just try the ASW Fiddler Georgia Heartwood 2022 National Championship. It is a very tasty 414 Pete. Have you tried it yet? I haven't tried that particular one, but I'm a huge fan of Georgia Heartwood for sure. Nick Foles, I did try that Legion, and I thought it was really, really delicious. I really liked it. So about that Boona. Okay, yeah, I'll get to that real quick. How much time? Oh my God, it's 10:50 already. Okay. Yeah, 11 years old, 140-something proof. Holy crap. Bozwanga, yes, this is all distilled and aged by 13th Colony. A lot of people ask that. It's produced and bottled at 13th Colony in Americus, Georgia. One of the best, one of the coolest like city names ever. So this one, actually, let me compare it here to the Jack. That's not the Jack. Where's the Jack? Oh, this is the Jack right here because there's not much left. That's the Jack. Holy crap, that is dense. Yeah, so the Jack Daniels Rye it's super unique. This doesn't get to that point of darkness, but this has a this is more probably closer to the Jack Daniels special release, I think. All right, let's try this one. Holy Lord. Even after coming off of the other ones, man, do you feel that shit. Damn. Wow, that is a freaking punch you in the face flavor bomb. Holy hell. 13th Colony is a 95.5 rye. Man, once that levels off, though, that is an absolute flavor monster. Holy shit. This thing is a beat. Look how dark this is, guys. This is a rye whiskey. Look how dark that is. You can't even, like, see through the damn bottle. Barely. So, quick history note. These bottles were designed for boats and ships and submarines because a bottle like this would not tip over if there's a lot of, turbulence on the boat. It's got a wide body, a wide ass, mind you, on the bottom of the bottle, and it stays sturdy. So, any moving and shaking on a boat would not make this tip over. So that's where this kind of bottle design came from. I always wondered if Old Forester Birthday Bourbon had the same. Is that why they used it, or if they just thought it was a unique bottle design? All right. This is amazing. I might like this over the Jack. There's a lot more going on here. It takes you in a million different directions. You go from mint to, I think there's a little bit of that molasses in here too. It's not as dense and dark as the Jack Daniels. There's a little like pop of like a black cherry coming through as well, like a Swedish fish candy. Like a very, very sweet licorice type note coming through too. That thing's all over the place. That thing's a beast. The age on the 13th colony, 11 years old. 11 years old. Oh, I meant to show you guys. Everybody always asks me, what sneakers am I wearing? And I just got these. I'm really excited about these. It's one of my favorite Jordans. It's the Air Jordan 4. And these are the Jordan Fire Reds. Jordan 4 Fire Reds. So this particular sneaker was my first pair of Jordans ever when I was a kid. But they were the cement gray. So all the red spots were actually the cement gray with the black specks on them. And so these just released the Fire Reds, and my favorite color is red, so I had to have these. And yeah. As you can see, I'm trying to break them in a little bit. These are my house sneakers. So I wear them only in the house right now until it's time to break them outside. So there's red, white, and black, your favorite color scheme? Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Love red, white, and black. Oreos and white cements are better. Oreos and white cements. I'm a sucker for the gray cement. Oreos, I'm not a huge fan of. $400. Yeah, I'm not buying the whatchamacallit, the Oreos for that much. There's very, very few Jordan 4s that I like in certain colorways. Damn, that is unbelievably good. Starting to get chocolate now on this. And I don't know if it's just my palate tonight because I've had a lot of whiskey, but that is not drinking like 141 proof. It's drinking like 120 maybe ish. Nick Foles, I'm still loving my reimagined 3s. Yeah, Nick, I got 3 pairs of those, dude. I backed that shit up for sure. Oh yeah, the Black Cats 4s. Yeah, those I would get, but those are a lot of money. All right. Damn. Okay. 10:56. Adriana, how many entries we got for the giveaway tonight? We're gonna give away this beautiful big sample of Jack Daniels Twice Barreled Rye. So I'm actually gonna pour a little bit more of it here. Mojo says I have a lot of 4s. I need to go live and show off my Skechers, says Ernest Stevenson. Oh, that's awesome, man. Oh yeah, Eagle Rare versus Elmer T. Lee. Yeah, let me do that real quick too. So while she's getting that all set up, let me go pour. Do I even have Elmer T. Lee back there? I should. Let me see here. Yeah, that's that. That's used. That's a new glass. Okay, let me grab that real quick, guys. Elmer. I do have an Elmer here. Ooh, that's the 100th year tribute. Regular Elmer. And I need a regular Eagle. There we go. Got it. Always prepared for you guys. Oh, yeah. 345 entries. Holy shit. Okay. So let's pour a little Elmer. This is a good question. What do I like better, Elmer or Eagle Rare? I've had a lot of whiskey tonight, so I'm not sure this is going to be a really good comparison, but I think the next double base, I'm going to do this. I might just do this in a double base blind. I can't do it blind right now, obviously, because I know what's in what. So this is the Eagle Rare. This is the Elmer T. Lee. Let's see which one I like better here. Okay. Elmer is the most mid bourbon around Eagle Rare by a mile. Is the most mid bourbon. What do you mean mid bourbon? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that, Bourbon Bill? 345 entries. Okay, so I'm going to pick number. I just broke out my Jordan 4s. Let's go with 123. Let's go somewhere in the middle there. So number 123 to win that sample of the Jack Daniels Twice Barreled Rye. Okay. On the nose, Eagle Rare, Elmer T. Lee. Both 90 proof. Elmer T. Lee, supposedly 6 to 8 years old. Eagle Rare, 10 years old. Oh, mid. What the kids be saying. Got it. Mid means trash. Oh, mid means trash. Okay. Yeah, sorry, guys. I don't talk in another language here. You know, I got to say, Elmer T. Lee, at least this single barrel, and remember, Elmer T. Lee is a single barrel as well. So they can vary a little bit. 90 proof coming off of 140. Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. I will have to do this in a, you know what? I'll do this actually this week. I'll film this tomorrow blind for Friday. In an actual double base, but let's see what we got here. Nose, I actually think goes to the Elmer. This Elmer T. Lee has a fantastic nose to it. Mid equals not bussin'. Can we see your 50 bottles of Russell single barrel? They're actually in my bunker in the back. They're back there, unfortunately. But I might do a video kind of showing them all off. So we'll see. Well, actually, when I do my video when I start showing off all the different, when I do the video on the different warehouses for Russells, then you'll see them. JG1, are you serious? JG, the winner of the Jack Daniels Twice Barreled Giant Sample. All right, JG, you know where to find me, man. Congrats. I'm giving the edge to the Elmer. The Elmer has a better nose than this Eagle Rare does. All right, let's try palate here. The Eagle Rare is cherry. It's the grape. It's the little bit of the oak. That's why I love Eagle Rare so much. Once I read the actual Elmer T. Lee say that he prefers to mix it with Sprite, I've been pretty hesitant. That's super rigged. So Elmer T. Lee on the palate, I don't think is as interesting as the Eagle Rare. I think I like the Eagle Rare a little better on the palate. The Eagle Rare has some it's like that cherry grape flavor. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much, Adriano, for tracking for me. All right, one more sip of the Elmer here. Yeah, the Elmer, I think, is sweeter. It's got like that Buffalo Tracy, really nice sweetness, not a big finish to it. But I think the Eagle Rare actually has a little bit more going on, especially with those fruit-forward flavors that you love in Eagle Rare. The grape, the cherry, a little bit of the oak. I think Eagle Rare kind of on the palate wins it. Elmer T. Lee wins on nose. And the finish, I'm not going to tell you because I'm going to do a double base on Friday, and you guys will find out. I'll say this, though. They're close. They are close. I think nose definitely goes to Elmer T. Lee. It's more balanced. But palate, I think, goes to Eagle Rare. So let's blend them here before we say goodnight. We're going to make an Elmer T. Rare or an Eagle T. Lee. The Eagle T. Lee. Make a quick blend here. All right, guys, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. We had a shit ton of people in the chat tonight going through this. The Jack Daniels, absolutely delicious. But again, It's dark, dense, it's rich. I don't think it's going to wow people as much as the original Jack Daniels Rye barrel proof whiskey did. However, it is very, very good. It's super sweet, so that's why I think people are going to like it. But when it comes to the complexity of it, I don't think it falls. I think it falls a little bit short compared to Sagamore 8-year, and again the regular Jack Daniels barrel proof rye, the original special release that came out. Yeah, the Legion, really, really good. I know, Kevin, you were asking about the Bunnahabhain 12. The Phase Yields, they're non-age stated this year. I will say this. The Bunnahabhain cast strength 12-year is better than this. So if you can get that, just stick with that. This is good, but not nearly as good as the that cast strength 12-year. So cheers, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Next week, Dan McKee, Michters. We are going to have a lot of questions. So, and anybody for Blendageddon, please click the link below. Read the rules. Cheers to you guys, and I will see you next week right here on the Master and Drum. But before we go, let's try this here. It got even more grapey than it originally did. That's crazy because I didn't get a lot of grape in Elmer T. Lee, and I didn't get a lot of grape. I got grape in Elmer in the Eagle Rare. You blend them together. This is like a pack of Big League Chew grape gum. It's kind of delicious. Eagle T. Lee in the house. Cheers, guys. I'll see you next week. Next week, right here on the Master and Drum. I think that 13th colony is getting to me. Cheers, guys. See you next week. Love you all.